Walk up to this person we're going to greet. We're going to have her sit. It's a great way to do an introduction to anybody that you want to practice with. Nope. If she pops up, say no. Step into her. Turn into her. Do a little circle. Reset her. Put her back. I only said SIT one time. Never repeat the command. So when she popped up out of that SIT, I just reset her, put her back, and I stepped over, gave him a treat. She knows to wait till I come back next to her. The leash is always loose. If she does pop up, you can tap and release and say no, but never restrain her and never control her like that, because that will create overstimulation, overexcitement, stress, and all bad things will happen because of that. So you're always tapping and releasing gently as well. It's like a signal, it's not a correction. And then with your right hand, go. Send her over. She gets a treat. Come. Call her right back. She's on top of this, man. She's all about coming back. She grabs a treat, comes running back. Sit. You want to continue this because you never want her, when she's 75 pounds, you don't want her jumping on people that come over to your house. You want to teach her respect. Nope. I'm going to teach her respect for humans. There's no jumping. This exercise is a great way to do that. You send her over to somebody that she either is happy to see or that she is just about to meet. She knows the treat's going to be on ground level. They'll pet with the other hand. If she gives them a chance to pet her, which she'll just grab it and come right back to you. But if you give them a chance, if she gives them a chance to pet her, they can pet her while she's taking the treat. But basically, you don't want jumping onto people. You want her to love to meet new people, because you don't want her being protective of you. She could easily start becoming protective of you and your property, your house. The worst place to introduce her to somebody is inside of your house. So you always want to come outside, at least on a driveway, sidewalk, whatever. Introduce her to new people in a neutral, more open area. The worst place to introduce her is after somebody's walked through your front door and she's on the inside, because it could, remember, she's only been here for like half the training period, so she's still making mistakes. But you see how she's getting it. Somebody needs to keep practicing this when she goes home. Nope. Okay. And I'm talking too much, that's the problem. But you have to know these things. So just reset her again. She stays there. I walk over to the person. He gets a treat there. Did she take it the last time?
No, this is another.
Okay, just make sure she takes it. Okay. Go. Takes it. Come. Did she take it?
Yes.
Good. There you go. She dropped it. She can't wait to come back to the person that's calling her, though. So that's a good thing for you. I want to keep doing this. Sit. Because I think everybody's go-to command is the recall, is the come command. So if she wants to run back to you, give her the whole handful when she comes to you. That's great. That's what you want. You want to have that be even better than it is now. Go say hi. Come. Good. See how I'm doing it? Stepping into her. You can even start adding this little turn. Sit. And then once you get comfortable with doing this, you can practice a little sit stay before you send her over. All of this just makes her better, gives her a better, higher level of focus. She has to wait in a little sit stay before you send her over to that person, keeps her calmer. She'll be more likely to have a calm introduction if she's been thinking and focusing, because that calms her down. Go. Come. But when she's big, you want her to be calm, and you want, when she meets people, and you want her to be respectful. And the way they do that is to be practicing this now before she gets big. Continue practicing this, even if you just do it 3 times. And then if you're introducing to somebody that's coming to your house that she doesn't know, the last one, okay, sit. Give them a big handful of treats. They walk in first. They're inside as you walk through the front door. Go say hi, now you're inside. Come, do that introduction back to your inside. And because dogs behave situationally, it'll be completely different if the person's in there already and she's coming through the front door. They're not used to that. It's an opportunity for you to create a new impression of what it means to have a stranger in there, because they're just used to being in there and then somebody coming in, and that's always going to put a protective dog on edge when you walk into their little closed-in space. No matter how big your house is, through that front door, that's always going to create some overstimulation and some apprehension with a dog like this. So that's how you do your greeting routine, and also you're practicing your sit stay, your go command, your come command, so you're practicing real life basic commands in a real life type of scenario that will help you in the long run. Okay. Sit. You're going to do this little mat exercise. You walk her up to the mat, you have her sit. You can see how much she loves to go on there, but just like the crate, we develop it as a fun place to be, a fun thing to do, and so she needs to wait for our permission. See, I'm just tapping her a little bit. No, she gets out of control. Do your little reset. See, this whole time, I'm just tapping and releasing. Sit. She has to wait for permission to go on this mat. She loves to play this little game. Go to your mat, down. It's a fast track to teaching a dog the down command. And you don't have to have a dog training mat like this. You can just use a bath mat or something with a rubberized bottom, because if you don't use something with a rubberized bottom, like if you just use a towel or something, it's going to scrunch up on slick floors. Most people have linoleum or tile or something like that. So, good. So see how I'm just practicing this basic downstay while I walk around her both ways. She's chewing on some treats that are left on the mat from another dog that have dried on there. And see how I'm rewarding? I'm swinging in like that. She's waiting. Nope. If she goes forward like that, tries to get out of your hand, you pull back. She has to wait. See how she's waiting? Nope. Good. That is a huge part, excuse me, that's a huge part of this exercise, because if you're just like throwing the food down, or if she's grabbing it out of your hand, she's really not in the state of mind that we're looking for. We're looking for this calm, non-reactive state of mind where she's really here in the moment with us. She knows all these little rules that she's supposed to follow to get the treat. She has to wait respectfully until we place that treat there and then withdraw. We're always putting the little reward on the mat in front of her. And she needs to wait respectfully. Nope. Not touching, nope. Not touching your hand. Good. And then as you withdraw, she can take it off the mat. So once again, and you're not like creeping up on her like this, because you'll trigger her to jump up to get it. So you see how I'm doing it. I'm taking it out of my little treat, my training pouch, my treat pouch, swinging in. Good, just like that. And she's starting to get a decent little downstay after a couple of weeks of this. She can get way better. Somebody has to keep practicing with her, but at least she has the kind of downstay where you can walk around both ways. It's a big start. Nope. Make sure you keep her honest there. Good. This exercise, doing it the way you see me doing it, also will create a new respect for you. Also, whoever she does this with, she'll start to perceive as the boss and not just somebody that gives her treats all the time. So you want to do this exercise every day. I've worked up to doing it for 5 minutes at a time. She only gets up one way, and that's when you walk back next to her. You're going to say, okay, lead her off the mat, have her sit, and then go to be free. So we're always going to have her sit at boundaries, gateways, doorways, curbs. See how she's sitting? She just started doing this successfully like 3 or 4 days ago. She waits, she steps back. Okay, she only goes through a boundary. See how she tried to rush through? All I did was tap and release. It's always a release, so that little tiny prong collar really helps you a lot. Okay, if you use it properly, it's really about the kind of the gentle touch. And of course I have to turn around. You're always turning into her as well, turning into the dog, because when you turn into them, she's after bugs and she's just very reactive, as you know. She'll go after anything. You're always using your body to turn into her. So I'm never going to go this way, because I'm squandering a power that I'd have if I'm always doing this move. This is the move of the boss, turning into the dog. And it's ideal that you start doing this now because she's so small. It's not going to be so easy later on, so keep doing this. So you have two basic body language moves in this, in the dog training. You're always, let's say she's on free time, you're always turning into her to set her up. Sit, and then she's set up perfectly to do a sit or down or whatever. Or, and I'm going to release her. Go. The other big move is come, backing away. Good, the dog is drawn to you. So your body is either showing her where to go. Even if I'm going to go right, I always do this. Okay, so I want to go right, I'm going to go left to go right. You see how it draws the dog right back next to you? If you're turning right, and it's standard to keep the dog on your left, you have to pick a side. If for some reason you're doing it on your right, then everything's opposite, but it's the same move. And you're gonna drag her around. There's no leadership in this move where you're dragging the dog around. You pull on a leash and they pull away from you. So when you step into her and your body is literally hurting her, the leash stays loose. Sit. It just is a natural, dominant, safe, dominant move. Like, she likes that move. She makes her feel like you're in charge. Go. The come command is, obviously, I'll just talk about it right now. This is the way I practice it every time. If we're doing a leash, if we're doing a walk, and she's just free on the leash, which is what she is most of the time. And we just take like short little walks on this little quiet street because she hasn't been here long enough for me to take her out to where it's really crazy, but at least we can show you how far we've gotten in this short amount of time. The leash is always loose. If I want her to come to me, so let me toss a distraction here. So there's a distraction over there. So say she's chasing something, even she wants that treat. You see how I tapped and released and she stopped? You always have, come. Always call her away from things on the ground or something like that. You don't have to say leave it or make funny noises or whatever. You want to just use your come command to get her back to you away from anything that you don't want her to deal with. That way your come command is so good. You've never had a dog with such a great come command because you practice it all the time. Any kind of noise you make with your mouth, I guess a classic one is leave it. It just is, there's no magic about that word. They become desensitized to it over time. A lot of people think it works, but it only works if that thing or whatever it is really like a big whatever for them. If they really want that burrito on the ground, you can say leave it all day long. You're going to be screaming leave it. They're going to eat it and then they'll take the consequences. So it doesn't engage her brain to do something instead. So a noise you make or funny noises, or shushing or whatever, snapping fingers, whatever, she's going to build up a tolerance to those things, and then you'll have to do it more and more and more and louder and louder and louder. But why not just practice calling her away from everything? That way all you have, that treat is still over there. Let's throw even more just to illustrate the point. There's even more now. Oh, look at all those treats. Come! Good. It's so easy. You only say it once. You won't have to do all this other stuff and make all these noises, and it won't work anyway later. And she practiced her recall and just got a little bit better, calling her away from something she really wants. You'll always have it in an emergency. So that's my pitch for just practicing come. And don't use anything that doesn't engage her brain to do something instead. So no more corrections and funny noises and crazy words, because unless they're connected to physical action, like coming back to you, it's not going to really work that well. We have one more boundary here. Sit. So like I said, we started taking her on the street, just this little patch of street here. I always treat the curb as a boundary as well. And so see how she's turning towards the camera person? In general, I'm not going to allow that. Okay, so I'm going to reset her. But she's just started doing this and she's doing pretty well. At least she can stay in a sit-stay out here in public with noises and people everywhere and all that. If she pops up, you say nope. Reset her. And we have the problem with the camera person here right now, which is distracting her. So just to show you, when we're practicing, we don't have somebody standing right there pointing something at us. But if you just reset her a few times, she'll get it, and then she gets a reward once she does it successfully. Hey, look, eye contact, straight down. She's literally looking at me in the eyes, and she dropped it. Nope. She's looking at me in the eyes as she gets a reward. Good. And you want to go straight down because, as you can see, this is brand new for her. And she could, if you hover there, she's going to jump up like a prairie dog and stand on her hind legs. So, hey, straight down. Good, like that. Not like this, where she eats out of the hand that comes out of the sky, somehow attached to you, maybe. So it's very clear she's looking you in the eyes as you give her a reward. It's a subtle little thing, but it does make a big difference. And then, okay, cross the street, and watch the way I'm crossing the street. No pulling, keeping her next to me. I don't want her rushing across streets. I don't want her pulling me. I'm just tapping a little bit. Most dogs pull their owners across the street, but I'm counting the street from curb to curb as the calm zone. Sit, get to the other side, and then go. Then she's free. Then she can continue the walk, and the walk should be this relaxing, fun little thing you do, as long as you keep the leash loose. And as she goes towards people or animals or gross things on the ground, you just use your recall to call her back to you. You're gonna go across the street again. Okay, here we go again. Sit, back across. And that way your walk has a lot of free time, but you're gonna be crossing streets and you're practicing your sit stay. So you're going around both ways like that. Good. That time she did it perfectly. Okay, cross the street again. See how she's next to me? Most I'll have to do is just tap and release. See that? It's very gentle. Never have continuous tension. Always just have it loose. But and then on the other side, sit and go. She's free again. Okay, sit. You're gonna walk her up to the crate. You're gonna have her sit. You open the door. Notice I'm not restraining her. She's just waiting to be sent in there. I think possibly you might have a little issue. Go when she comes home. So toss a little treat in there. Do the go, a little like a flourish, like you're sending her in, but you toss food at the same moment. And then when she is in there, you can reach in, you can give her a treat. With the other hand, you reach in, take off her little training collar, this little tiny prong collar we use. Her routine in my house has been in and out of this crate, in and out just like I'm about to show you. I showed you how we put her in. We'll show you how we take her out in a minute. I take off her prong collar. We take off their prong collars a lot, but you could leave it on during the day and make sure you take it off at night though. You hang it on the door so it doesn't get tangled up in itself. And if you're going to take her out on the street, you want to get a little choke chain, which I don't have right now, but it's attached to the clip as well, to the leash. So if this little prong collar ever comes loose, which occasionally it does, because it's kind of flimsy and sometimes it'll come out, and then the choke chain takes over and you don't lose the dog on the street. So double up on both. Never use the choke chain for training. It's very dangerous. It can really damage the dog's throat. This, although you might think it's scary looking, it doesn't hurt a dog. It's fitted perfectly to the size of her neck. It's lightly touching all the way around. You'll see the way we handle it in the video. We're tapping and releasing. It's always tap and release, tap and release. And it closes with the same pressure all the way around, whereas most collars just close right here. Choke chain is not to be used. It's very dangerous, but it's there. We use it just for safety out in public only. We feed her in her crate, so she's in her crate, we bring the food to her. Door is always closed. It's closed when she's in, it's closed when she's out, because dogs are naturally den animals, and so we develop the crate as their den. We give her treats, obviously. Whenever she goes in, it's always a positive interaction, anything having to do with the crate and her hands coming in. When we go to put her in and we reach in to take off her collar, it's a treat, do it, close the door. When we're not taking it off, we just unhook the leash and we're about to close the door. It's a treat, close the door. And All her chewies, anything that she loves to chew on, anything like that is always inside the crate. So for her, it's an awesome place. It's a fun place. There's a little blanket in there, so she's really comfortable. She loves her crate. She's way less likely to pee where she sleeps and eats. So it really helps you with your house breaking situation. I don't know, I'm not sure where that is in your house yet, but if you take her all day long or as much as possible in and out of the crate, out as much as possible, try to take her out through the same door so she really gets that pattern. It's all about establishing a pattern of behavior where she goes out through the same doorway every time. If you can take her out enough outside, all she knows is for a few weeks straight, she just pees outside because of the way you manage her. Then she comes in, then she could be loose in the house a little bit, supervised, on a leash, and then either back outside or into her crate. Always make sure that she's been outside before she goes back in her crate so she can be in her crate longer. She'll hold it longer because she doesn't want to pee where she sleeps and eats, and she doesn't want to pee where she can't get away from it as well, and then straight outside. So that's an abbreviated version of how to house train a dog. You can't allow her an opportunity to make a mistake. So she's either in the crate, she's with you supervised on a leash after she's been outside, so she's empty, so to speak, or she's outside, in her crate with you supervised or outside. No chance that she can screw up. Then even if you do have the occasional mistake, you have way more successes and she's house trained, housebroken sooner than before. So we didn't talk about that. I don't think we talked about it, so I'm just telling you that process just in case you need to know that, in case she's not house trained at your house. So when I'm going to take her out, and by the way, she sleeps overnight in the crate, and right before bed, I take her out one more time, maybe around 11:30 at night. I let her out, put her back. 7 a.m. we start letting the dogs out. She gets let out. So she's been pretty good. She's holding, as long as she goes out a lot during the day, she's starting to hold it overnight as well. When we first got her in a couple weeks ago, she was sometimes having accidents overnight, but that's getting way less and less, which is a great thing. When we're going to take her out of the crate, make sure she doesn't come bursting out, because she's going to be a big dog someday. And so she's quite a character as well, and a strong personality. So right now she's like taking her paw and pushing against the door. But if you do these little taps and then she'll wait, as you can see, and you pay her, she's used to that. This is what you want. You want to control this boundary, because when you control the boundary to her crate where where all these great things happen, she loves being in there, and you control her access in and out the way we're doing it, she's more likely to take you seriously in other situations. If she thinks that you're the boss and controlling her life, she's going to be calmer, she's going to feel safer, she's going to be less panicky, which also leads to less reactive behavior, like swallowing rocks. Like you told me, she was swallowing little rocks and things. So all of these little things I'm going to show you on this video tie together. You see how the little prong collar's hooked up to the leash. All I have to do is reach in. She's waiting respectfully to have this put on, and sometimes she'll like run to the back of the crate, so I have to reach in and grab her. So anyway, so I put that on. It's on now. So there is a little exercise that I've been doing good while the door's open after I hook her up, to really drive it home to her that she's going to wait at that boundary. Hey, look, silly, up there. Step back, she waits, give her a treat for waiting. If she tries to come out, you go, nope. But as you can see, we don't really have to do that anymore, because she gets it. She's waiting at that boundary. She waits until we say, okay. She comes out. Such a simple little thing, but if you control important boundaries in her life, you always close this, make sure it's closed when she's out, so she can't just go in there for free. She needs to be allowed in there, like I showed you in the beginning. If you control important places, you change the dog's perception of who you are, her whole environment, how she lives, everything. And you'll see a number of these little things in the video, it's only been 2 weeks for her. She hasn't even been here for the whole program, and she's really starting to learn this stuff. But remember, it's all brand new. It's like wet paint. It's like wet cement. You have to keep practicing this, especially since she's only been here for a little while. And that's why we're making the videos, so you don't forget what to keep doing. She may struggle with you, but you have to stick with the program, keep doing this, because you want to see more and more of this kind of calm, in control little puppy than what we had before. Okay.